Staying in touch is just a few clicks away. Get the latest news from a Catholic perspective and so much more. Become a RealCatholicTV.com premium member today.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by PewSitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium. CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Sacred and profane victory. Public prayer at local government meetings in the United Kingdom is now banned following a precedent-setting court case that atheists are celebrating. Atheists argued in court that having to sit through prayer at the beginning of a Biddeford Town Council meeting made them uncomfortable and therefore is a violation of their human rights. The judge in the case, brought by the National Secularist Society, ruled that, quote, a local authority has no powers to hold prayers as part of a formal local authority meeting or to summon counselors to such a meeting at which prayers are on the agenda, end quote. Even though atheists are welcoming the ruling as a victory, it only cites law already in place, actually permitting public prayer, just not as a part of town meetings. Career-ending comments. With French elections on the horizon, the president's political party is kicking one of its members to the curb for speaking out against homosexuality. President Nicolas Sarkozy's conservatives will vote on pushing lawmaker Christian Veneste out of their party for saying that homosexuals are at the center of power in France, manipulating the media and forcing humanity to lose its dignity. Veneste is being excoriated because critics say he downplayed the persecution of homosexuals during the Second World War in his public comments, and that the party will take a vote next week on the issue, expected to have severe consequences for the politician's career in Parliament. The author of a book on homosexual persecutions in France, Michael Bertrand, did extensive research to find 62 cases of homosexual deportations in France during the Holocaust that claimed the lives of millions of Jews and Catholics. This move comes right after President Sarkozy's party played a significant role, voting to keep homosexual marriage from being legal in France. Outrageous Muslim influence. School officials across the country are forcing Islamic culture into student curricula, causing outrage among students and parents. In Tampa this week, Florida parents crowded into a school board meeting to express frustrations that a member of the American Council on Islamic Relations, or CAIR, was allowed to speak at a local high school last fall, causing concern because of the group's alleged links to Hamas terrorism. The Islamic group dismissed parental concerns, calling it ridiculous to think that one person could influence the beliefs of the young, while a high school student in Colorado is quitting his school choir over its decision to feature a song that says, quote, there is no truth except Allah. James Harper, the senior who quit the choir, points out that, quote, there would be a lot of outrage if we made a Muslim choir say Jesus Christ is the only truth. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
Brewing truth and trouble. A bar in Denver, Colorado is booting hundreds of Catholic patrons out after calling the content of a Theology on Tap event, quote, too controversial. The brouhaha centers around a talk Auxiliary Bishop James Conley gave at Stoney's Bar and Grill nearby the cathedral, called, quote, A Theocracy and the Battle for Religious Freedom in America, that the restaurant claims caused some staff to refuse to work the event again. Though the event was in a place where other patrons could not hear the bishop, one customer of the restaurant was even heard shouting obscenities at the bishop. Jeanette DeMilo, communications director for the Archdiocese, says that though this could be considered a business decision for the restaurant, as Catholics, we cannot allow ourselves to be pushed out of the public square. Persecution process. The foundations of a sophisticated persecution are being organized to ensnare and punish the Catholic Church, according to Bishop Robert Morlino. The Bishop of Madison, Wisconsin explained to Vatican Radio that a, quote, divide and conquer strategy is being executed in the public debate over religious liberty and conscience rights to divide Catholics as much as possible, even further than they already are, into conservative and liberal camps. Morlino links the problem of division to too much liturgical diversity in the Church, affirming that the goal of commonality in liturgy assisted by the new translation of the Roman Missal would make a, quote, robust public witness of the true faith. He goes beyond the problems of the Catholic Church to point out, quote, if they can do it to Catholics, they can do it to anybody. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in today. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And also be sure to check out The Vortex, where Michael comes to us from the Philippine Islands. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. And as always, God bless you.